Thank you for listening to Stories from the Shed. My name is Adam, your host, and with me, your co-host, a man who's already broken his 2019 New Year's resolution and is 2.5 sleeves deep at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Jake, how you doing?
I'm drunk.
You're barely awake.
No, I'm here. I'm not really 2 sleeves deep.
Nah, we're kidding.
Nope, just one, but it is 1:15 on a Tuesday afternoon.
Yeah, this is kind of a, Jake came over to burn the Christmas tree, and we said, let's record an episode.
Everything Christmas.
Let's record an episode. We're kind of read up on this one here, and this is going to be our first episode for Season 2.
Yay, Season 2.
Season 2, yes, 2019, that's cool. And we're going to be doing some profiles, I guess, on some different serial killers this year, so we figured, why not start off Episode 1 with a serial killer?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, so we kind of looked through it, and actually, I think you picked this one, Jake.
I did, actually. You have a book with 1 million different serial killers in it, and we were reading through it the other night, and I'm like, let's do an episode on this guy. And I had like 4 or 5 other guys, and I'm like, these are perfect people to do episodes on. But this one kind of caught my eye just because of how weird he is. He's kind of messed up in the head.
Yeah, what's his name?
Albert Fish.
Albert Fish, yeah.
Fish, not Phish.
Yeah, not like the band.
No, not like the band.
And Albert Fish was, I think he inspired some movies. I believe he inspired the Hannibal Lecter movies, and in some regard.
Yeah, there was a movie in like 2007, I think, too. Something like that, I think.
Yeah, well, he inspired, and he also inspired the Hannibal Lecter and some, I believe, Leatherface.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah.
He was mentioned in Criminal Minds, too.
Yeah, so this guy kind of goes back, Albert Fish. So Albert Fish, should we...
Albert Fish can hold off because right now we got to do a beer review.
That's right.
Can we review a beer multiple times if it's in a different season?
Well,
too bad we're doing it anyway. Today we're drinking Malaysian Space Dust. We had it last year and it was good, and guess what, you guys? It's still good in 2019.
Yeah, like I said, this was just a quick decision to record today, so we didn't even have time to chase any beers. We just kind of grabbed what we had close by. So we got some Space Dust and some Twisted Tea. So you might not get a picture for this episode. I know a lot of you guys do like the beer reviews. I've heard that.
Well, listen, we could upload the picture of Albert Fish's pelvis with all the needles and stuff in it.
Yeah. Ooh, yeah.
That would be a good one.
Yeah. That
would definitely grab someone's attention. They'll be like, the fuck is that?
And that makes me want to drink beer.
Yeah, I agree. Cheers.
Cheers. All right. So Albert Fish, he's a pretty interesting guy. He was born on May 19th of 1870.
How many Scully fingers does your Twisted Tea get? I'm sorry.
Oh, shit.
We forgot.
Well, you know what? I will say, the Twisted Tea, though, I'm not going to bother taking a picture of the can.
No, you all know what it looks like. It's yellow with a specific color ribbon on it.
I got to give these probably a 4 1/4 Scully fingers only because of their high drinkability.
Oh, absolutely. You could slug them down just like iced tea.
And you don't get a hangover, at least in my case.
No, you don't. The only thing that I would say bad about them is they are super sweet. When you don't drink them for a little bit, you definitely notice how sweet they are.
So,
okay, now that we're done. I'm going to give my Malaysian 5.
5,
okay, anyway.
Delicious. So, yeah, like I was saying, Albert Fish was born May 19th, 1870.
When did he get his nickname Werewolf of Wisteria?
I think that came...
Was that like right when he was born? Did he come out with his full mustache thing going on?
I think that came later in life when he was taking people in the dark.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the
all right,
werewolf.
I'll stop interrupting you.
Well, no, he's got a number of nicknames, though, now that you bring that up, because he was also known as the Gray Man, the Brooklyn Vampire, Moon Maniac,
and the Boogeyman.
Ooh, the Boogeyman, yeah. Some of his hobbies, I guess we could say, was cannibalism,
raping children.
Yeah, pedophilia. What is coprophilia? I'm not sure what that is.
That is I remember reading about this. So later on in his life, he ended up meeting this young boy when he was a young boy, and this person that he met got him into, what was that philia thing again?
Coprophilia.
Coprophilia. Okay. Give me 2 seconds. I'm reading the article here. Just keep going.
Yeah. Also, urophilia. Not sure what that is.
That's the drinking of urine, and I think the other one is eating shit. Yes, nice. It's okay. Whatever the fuck is eating shit.
Well, at least
literally eating shit.
At least he believed in recycling.
No, that is not appropriate.
Sadism as well. They say he was convicted, I believe, of 3 murders, but he's definitely murdered more than that. The date of his arrest was December 13th, 1934. His method of murder was strangulation and stabbing. Known victims are Francis X. McDonnell, Billy Gaffney, and Grace Budd. These crimes happened in New York, and he was electrocuted on January 16th of 1936. So these are the stats on this guy.
Did he murder everyone in New York, or were there other people across the country, or was it just New York?
I believe it was just New York.
Okay.
I just kind of gave a rundown on him. Now we'll probably dive into the background. I'll let you maybe discuss some of the murders. Probably you got your computer up there, but a background on Albert Fish is that he was the youngest of 4 children. He was born to Randall and Ellen Fish.
Yep.
His full name was actually Hamilton Howard Fish.
Oh, that's a much better name than Albert.
Well,
I think.
Yeah. Hamilton's kind of nice, I guess.
Yeah. Well, Hamilton seems classy.
Classy.
Yeah.
This
exactly.
guy's far from classy.
Like he goes to operas and stuff.
Now his father. Now, this was a while ago. So his father died at 43 years old, and his mother.
No, his father died 43 years
older than his mother.
Yeah, his father was 43
okay.
years older than his mother.
So,
which might attribute to why he's mentally ill.
Well, no,
Albert Fish, I mean.
His years older. Wow, so his father was much older than his mother, like that.
43 years older than his mom.
Weird. That's why I was.
His dad was 75 when he had Albert.
Oh wow. Okay, that's why I was confused. Just kind of a weird thing. So
yeah. Right.
Oh, wow. That's
quite a difference. And we complain about 10 years. Now we look at people walk down the street. Oh, why are you with that person who's only 10 years younger than you?
Yeah. Well, Albert Fish's father died in 1875, so Albert would have been like 4 or 5 years old.
Yep.
Fish was sent to live at St. John's Orphanage in Washington, where he regularly suffered abuse. After a while, he started to enjoy the pain he felt from it.
Not only that, he had a weird nickname at the orphanage. He was referred to as Ham and Eggs.
That's weird.
Yeah, isn't it?
I wonder where he got that from.
Right?
Does it say?
No, it doesn't. No, his nickname was Ham and Eggs, and he wanted to be known as Albert, which was the name of one of his siblings who unfortunately passed away. And he wanted to be called Albert because people used to call him Ham and Eggs.
Ham and Eggs.
I don't know why. That's such a weird name. Why would you call someone that?
Stupid. Yeah, it's
right?
Weird. But during his time at the orphanage, though, it's said that he did suffer a lot of different types of abuse. His mother, Ellen, gained employment with the government in 1880 and was able to retrieve Fish from the orphanage. So he was there for a few years. 2 years later, at the age of 12, Fish entered into a relationship with a telegraph boy.
Yeah, this is the boy that got him into drinking and eating shit and piss.
I don't know if the boy got him into it, but
well, who knows?
Yeah,
he was very likely messed up in the head way before that.
Well, no, it does say that the boy allegedly did introduce it to him.
Yeah, it's weird.
So maybe it was the boy's thing. But I don't know. But either way, they got into it together.
Yeah. Okay.
And throughout Fish's adulthood,
what? I can't even imagine it being pleasurable. What would make you do that?
It's like that 2 girls, 1 cup thing. But
yeah, but what makes? No.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna rant about this.
As an adult, Fish would write obscene letters to a woman he found advertising in matrimonial agencies and classified columns in papers and magazines. No, I think a matrimonial agency
that's looking for marriage.
Yeah, it's like a dating website.
Yeah,
kind of thing
except it's in
through the newspaper.
In the newspaper,
yeah.
Right. Young stud seeks home. I don't know.
Yeah, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
What he would do is he was fond of writing these shocking letters. Is something he kind of got off on.
Yeah, he's weird.
So that's kind of the weirdness, but I mean that he wasn't a killer up until that point.
See, that doesn't even begin to touch how weird this guy is, though.
Yeah,
the letters are nothing.
Yeah, why don't you take us into the murders?
Oh, I don't want to go quite into the murders yet. I want to give him a little bit more of a background because this guy is fucking weird, dude.
Yeah, what do you got?
Okay, so in 1890, which he was probably, let's see, he was born in 1870, so he was 20 years old. He moved to New York City, at which point he became a prostitute and started raping young boys. In 1898, his mother arranged a marriage for him with a girl named Anna Mary Hoffman, who was 9 years younger than him.
Hang on a second.
And they had six children together.
He was a prostitute that would rape boys?
Yep.
Like Oh, okay. So that's another fucking
That's
weird
not really
thing.
a prostitute. That's just someone who wants to rape young boys because he's weird.
Yeah, I wonder if it was more like rape and steal money. But not sorry to cut you off, but
no, it's okay. I do it to you all the time. But anyway, his mother arranged a marriage for him in 1898 to a girl named Anna Mary Hoffman, and they had 6 kids. Throughout that time, he was working as a house painter, but he continued to molest kids. Basically, most of his molestation victims were young boys under the age of 6.
I wonder if painting houses kind of put him into the position of being around, different boys in different areas.
Maybe. Well, I mean, if you're painting houses, you might be renovating for someone who makes a little bit of money, and who knows? It could be a million different things, realistically. True. So him and Anna Mary Hoffman have 6 kids. In 1903. He was arrested for grand larceny and sentenced to incarceration in Sing Sing, which I'm assuming is a prison.
Yeah, it must be.
That was 1903. Somewhere around 1910, while he was working in Delaware, he met a 19-year-old man named Thomas Kedden, Kedden.
Yeah, I'd say so.
He took Kedden to where he was staying, wherever he was living, I'm assuming, and they started a weird relationship. It's not quite clear, though, if Fish kind of forced this person into a relationship, because when he ended up getting caught for all the things that he did, he implied that this Thomas guy had an intellectual problem.
Oh yeah, so he may be taking advantage of him.
He was taking advantage of.
Yeah,
right. After 10 days of this relationship, Fish took him to an old farmhouse and started torturing him over the course of 2 weeks. Eventually, what he did, and this is just this is just the tip of all the fucked up things that are going to happen, okay? Fish tied him up and then cut off half of his penis. He's quoted as saying, "I shall never forget his scream or the look he gave me." He originally intended to kill this Thomas Kedden guy and take him home and cut him up and all that crazy weird stuff. It's
bizarre.
But he thought that the hot weather would draw him attention.
Oh, yeah, the smell.
Of all of the things, he's worried about the weather.
Yeah.
Drawing him attention.
He doesn't want to get caught.
Not that you're lugging a body through the streets in pieces. That's not a thing.
That's normal in New York at that time, right?
Well, maybe. I don't know. Is that where Jack... Oh, no, not Jack the Ripper. I don't think that even has anything to do with it.
I think that was in England.
I think you're right. So what he did, instead of hauling him out of there and cutting him up and killing him and whatever, you know what he does? He grabs a Vaseline-covered handkerchief, wraps it around the guy's penis, and leaves him a $10 bill and kisses him.
Hey, we use something kind of like that today.
Well, yeah, to light a fire, but we didn't wrap someone's bandage. We didn't wrap someone's dick up in a fucking Vaseline-covered bandage.
Yeah, it's fucked up.
What the fuck, dude? That's not even the same.
Just ironic that we did that
yeah,
today.
Right.
We used a Vaseline-covered paper towel.
Well, today we learned that Vaseline actually burns. Well, I learned today that Vaseline burns slowly and is actually kind of fun to watch burn. In 1917, his wife finally left him for the handyman who was living with them at that point. And Fish took his kids and started raising them as a single parent.
Oh, great.
He told the newspaper at some point that when his wife left him, she took everything they had in the house.
So Fish really has had kind of a shitty life.
Kind of, sort of.
In a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Okay.
He, at that point, supposedly he began to have hallucinations, auditory hallucinations. But there's a history of his family going back a couple generations where they had mental illness and hallucinations and being in psych wards.
That's interesting.
I want to say his sister was in a psych ward.
So mental illness definitely was something that ran in their family.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not just him. It's a bunch of other people.
Funny Fish.
About the same time, he began to indulge in self-harm. He embedded needles in his groin.
Yuck. Ouch.
Ow. That must be super uncomfortable to walk on.
Sitting all day.
Yeah, well, it's not like he's sitting on a computer all day, typing away.
Moving around with pins and shit in your grundle region.
He had 29 of them in his pelvic region. They found that out after he was arrested. He was x-rayed.
Nice.
Yep.
Surprise.
Yep.
Hey, guess what? With Fish, the pricks are on the inside.
I think they're everywhere.
They're everywhere.
On Fish, let's be honest.
Inside and out.
Yeah, exactly.
Just a prick right there.
He's just a prick. Is it ironic that he used to rape boys?
Not really.
No?
No. I mean, This guy, I don't think he had any kind of reservation. I think he was an opportunist.
Yeah, no shit, right? Well, actually, plenty of shit. He used to eat it.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Exactly. And that's not figuratively. No, that's for real. Look him up. His Wikipedia page is very interesting.
He even has an account with plentyofshit.com.
Gross. What do you pull in with that? More shit?
More shit.
Yeah, like I need more of that in my life. No, thank you.
So what do we get next on this guy?
Oh my God, all kinds of crazy shit. He used to abuse his kids, and well, maybe not. I mean, that's not what I meant. While he was never thought to have physically attacked or abused his kids, he did encourage them and their friends to paddle his ass with a nail-studded paddle.
Ooh.
What the fuck? What the fuck?
Yeah,
I still don't even feel like that. I feel like we're going to find out more. Yeah, because I don't even feel like that covers it.
Can we get a picture of that on our Facebook page of the paddle? Just because I don't think us just saying it does justice. This was like a paddle of fucking nails.
Well, when you showed it to me, it looked like an oversized wooden spoon with nails driven through it.
Yeah.
It was fucking weird. Dude. And he would beat himself with it, or he'd have people beat him with it.
Yeah.
What is wrong with you? Yeah, he apparently after that is when he started eating people too.
Cannibalism.
Yep. Oh, gross. He soon developed a growing obsession with cannibalism, often preparing himself a dinner consisting solely of raw meat and sometimes serving it to his kids.
Yuck.
Gross.
But, I mean, raw meat doesn't mean cannibalism. I mean,
well, no, I mean...
But it's still weird.
Yeah,
I mean,
there's
a group of people that do that. I don't recommend trying it.
Well, listen, I've heard of this new diet that's going... I wouldn't say it's going around, but I've heard of this new diet called the carnivore diet, too, where you eat just meat.
That's it, and raw.
Yeah.
A lot of it,
Well, cooked.
Cooked,
but you have literally just meat. You don't have anything to go with it. No veggies, no fruits, no bread, no nothing.
I wonder how Albert Fish's cholesterol was.
I bet you it was... I wonder if it was good. I don't know.
So what do we got on this guy now?
Guarantee you he didn't have diabetes. In 1919, he stabbed a mentally disabled boy in Georgetown, Washington, D.C. Was that his first attack? I
think so. At least the first reported one.
Okay. I don't even have a name on this dude.
I don't know. I don't think the kid was killed.
You're probably right.
I think it was just a stabbing.
I think you're right. Okay, so fast forward to 1924. He found 8-year-old Beatrice Kiel, Kiel,
yes,
Kiel, playing alone on her parents' Staten Island farm. He offered her money to come and help him look for rhubarb. Apparently, her mom chased Fish away.
Yeah, because he was kind of a weirdo. I think he was like, somebody that people. I mean, obviously was a weirdo, but I think people knew it at the time. Like they'd see him walking around, and they kind of lived off, away from everything.
I would imagine if they've got a farm.
Yeah, no, it was a nice area. I saw pictures of it and such, but
yeah,
you could see how it would be real easy to grab somebody and take them into the woods and do it real quickly.
See, what's weird with people like Fish is a lot of these crazy ass people that do stuff like that do it in the name of God's telling me to.
And I think that might be part of it.
Or
Fish.
Some other higher power is telling me to, and we know they're fucking crazy.
Yeah,
that's not. God wouldn't tell you to do that.
So what happened with this kid?
He got shooed off the property, and I don't believe anything happened to her.
It was an attempt.
I believe so. Yes, absolutely.
Does that take us up to Grace Budd?
Pretty much.
Yeah. Fish had convinced the parents. Hang on one second here, guys. Let me take a sip of my drink.
Yeah, put the drink on the other table. We got like 4 tables. No, we got 3 tables and then 2 extra chairs in here. 1 extra chair. I don't know.
So Fish had convinced the parents of Grace Budd to allow the little girl to attend a party with him. It's kind of fucking weird, but back in those times, I think
Okay, wait. Where did he find Grace Budd? Can we have a little bit of backstory on her? Where did she come from?
You know what? I don't have a whole lot in my notes. Maybe you got something here on that.
Yeah, actually, I do. A little bit. I thought maybe your information might have a little bit more.
There isn't a whole lot here.
So what happened was he came across Grace Budd. Someone was looking for a job in the Sunday paper, and he had responded claiming to be a farmer or something from New York.
That's right. I did read that.
And he shows up to this guy's house. His name was Edward Budd. And his plan all along was to murder this Edward Budd guy. He used a fake name and everything.
Is this the father of
Grace?
Yeah. Okay.
Yep. Exactly. So when he discovered Great. So basically what happened was he went there, they had met up to discuss the job, and then he goes, I'm going to need a couple days, whatever. Doesn't have time to meet with the person in a couple days, but sends them a telegraph and says, hey, I'll be in touch with you soon. Well, he shows back up at the house and offers to take Grace to a party for his niece, I think.
That's right.
Was it his niece?
That's
yes. Right. And the guy, hoping to get the job was like, yeah, okay, sure. My little girl gets to go to a birthday party and I'm getting a job. Okay.
Win-win.
That sounds cool, right?
Everybody's happy.
Right. Well, I know in 2018, I wouldn't let no one walk off with my kid, but maybe at the time it was different.
Right. Today, people have mad reserves. I mean, because unfortunately, Fish is one of many, many, many sick people. Now it's just, you can't do that. But anyways.
He takes off with Grace. Obviously, they weren't going to a party. And do I really have to spell this out for everybody? She's not here anymore, or she wasn't there. This was the last time they saw her.
Yeah. Yeah. What did he end up doing to her?
Oh, God. You want to read the letter?
Sure, because I think that's what led to his arrest, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So it starts off like this. Dear Mrs. Budd, in 1894, a friend of mine shipped a deck of hand on a steamer to...
Shipped as a deckhand.
It doesn't say it that way in this.
Oh.
So shipped as a deckhand on the steamer Tacoma, Captain John Davis. They sailed from San Francisco to Hong Kong, China. On arrival there, he and two others went ashore and got drunk. Hey,
that sounds like a great idea.
I know, right? When they returned, the boat was gone. At that time, there was a famine.
Famine. Wow, that's a big word.
It's big for me in the shed. There was a famine in China. Meat of any kind was hard to find, from $1 to $3 per pound.
Dude, that's what you get. That's what you pay for chicken now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But back then, there was a lot of money.
Right.
So great was the suffering among the poor, and all the children under 12 were sold to the butchers to be cut up and sold for food in order to keep others from starving. A boy or girl under 14 was not safe in the streets.
What?
Yeah. You could go in any shop and ask for steak, chops, or stew meat. Part of the naked body of a boy or girl would be brought out, and just as you wanted it to be cut. A boy or girl's...
What?
Yeah. A boy or girl's behind, which is the sweetest part of the body, and sold as
this is
veal.
in China?
Yeah, this is his letter. This is what he's telling to the family. And sold as veal cutlets brought here at the highest price. John stained that there as long as he acquired a taste for human flesh. So on his return trip to New York, he stole two boys, one 7 and one 11. Took them to his home, stripped them naked, and tied them in a closet. Then burned everything on them, everything they had on. So he must have burned their clothes. Several times every day and night, he spanked them, tortured them to make their meat good and tender. First, he killed the 11-year-old boy because he had the fattest ass. And, of course, there was the most meat on it. Every part of his body was cooked and eaten except the head, bones and guts. He roasted in the oven all of his ass. Boiled, broiled, fried, stewed. The little boy was next, went the same way. At that time, I was living at 409 East 100th Street, rear side. He told me so often how good human flesh was, I made up my mind to taste it then.
What the fuck?
On Sunday, June the 3rd, 1928, I called you at the 406 West 15th Street, brought you pot cheese, whatever that is, pot cheese and strawberries. We had lunch. Grace sat on my lap and kissed me. I made up my mind to eat her. On that pretense of taking her to the party, you said yes, she could go. I took her to an empty house in Westchester I had already picked out. When we got there, I told her to remain outside. She picked wildflowers. I sat upstairs, stripped off all my clothes. I knew if I did not, I would get her blood on them. When all was ready, I went to the window and called her. When I hid in the closet until she was in the room, when she saw me all naked, she began to cry and turned to run downstairs. She was frightened.
Yeah, I bet the fuck she was.
I grabbed her and she said she would tell her mama. First, I stripped her naked, but how she kicked, bit and scratched. I choked her to death and then cut her in small pieces so I could take my meat to my room. Jeez. Cook it and eat it. How sweet and tender her little ass was roasted in the oven. It took me 9 days to eat her entire body. I did not fuck her, though. I could have had, I wished. She died a virgin. Jesus Christ.
What the fuck, dude?
Yeah.
So nice. It was this letter that got him in trouble with the cops.
Yeah.
Police got the letter and was... Well, obviously, they were very concerned. They couldn't verify the Captain Davis or the famine in Hong Kong, though. But basically, they're looking at this letter like an admission.
I'd say so.
Yeah, I would say so. Before we go any further, can we please take a beer break so I can be sick by myself? Because that's fucking horrible the way that he treated those people. Yeah. Or those little kids. Or her or what. Anyone.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll be back.
Actually, that beer break was more of a food break.
Yeah, that's cool with me. That fucking chicken dip was awesome.
Yeah, thank you, honey. Big shout out to my wife. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Sarah. I know you can't hear us, but thank you. I appreciate it.
But you will.
My stomach feels a lot better.
Yeah, so anyway, so that letter that Albert Fish had written, he had written that on a notepad with a stationary notepad, rather, from the boarding home that he was staying at.
When was he staying in a boarding home? What happened there? Did he lose it? Well, maybe he lost his house when him and his wife divorced.
Yeah, I believe it was a boarding home, but he got the note from there, and they traced it back to that place, and they said something along the lines of that he hadn't been there for a week or so, but they were able to kind of track him down, and that kind of led to his arrest. Now, after his arrest, his other murders were uncovered. Francis McDonald.
Other murders?
Yeah.
Jesus, okay.
Yeah, everything kind of started to come out. You know, this was he was sloppy with this last one, and that's what happened. But Francis McDonald was reported missing on July 14th, 1924. The following day, his body was found hanging from a tree in the woods near his home. McDonald had been sexually assaulted and strangled to death. An autopsy reveals that he had received severe lacerations to his abdomen and legs.
Jesus.
Yeah, so that was one of his young guys, a young victim. He was 8 years old. And on February 11th, 1927, Billy Gaffney was abducted and taken to the dump on Riker Avenue. He took him to a house nearby, gagged him, and tied him up and removed his clothes. His clothing was burnt and his shoes tossed into the dump. Fish went home, and the next day he came back with tools, and Gaffney was still alive. Fish whipped him with a cat nine tails, which I don't know if you know what that is, but it's like
I don't.
It's like a lacy thing, and I think it has imagine like a whip with a bunch of laces on it and like razor blades and other sharp things on the end, just to kind of shred your skin. So we whipped him with a cat nine tails until blood was running down his legs. He cut his mouth from ear to ear and cut off his nose and ears. By this time, his eyes were gouged out, and the boy was dead. Fish struck a knife into his belly and drank his blood.
What the fuck?
But like Grace Budd, Gaffney's body was cut up into small pieces, and those who Fish wanted to eat were taken home, and others placed in sacks and weighed down before bringing it to the river, some close-by river. In his confession, he gave graphic descriptions on how he cooked each part of the body and kept them and ate them.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Ugh.
So
God.
he was not convicted of all these people, but there's a timeline of his known murders. Mm-hmm. Not to get into all kinds of crazy details, but on July 15th, 1924, Francis X. McDonald, 8 years old.
Okay.
February 11th, 1927, would have been Billy Gaffney at 4 years old.
Okay, that's 2.
June 3rd, 1928, Grace Budd, 10 years old.
3.
And then those are the ones that he was convicted of. Now, these are other suspected murders.
Okay.
October 3rd, 1926, Emma Richardson, 5 years old.
4.
1927, Yetta Abramowitz,
5.
12 years old. May 2nd, 1931, Robin Jane Liu,
6.
6 years old.
Oh, wow.
6 at 6, yeah. February 15th, 1932, Mary Ellen O'Connor, 16 years old.
7.
Going up in age.
Yep.
December 15th, 1932. Benjamin Collings, 17 years old.
8.
Yes.
8.
So those were other suspected ones. He probably did them. I mean, who knows? But
yeah, right. But he was convicted of 3 anyway.
Yeah. So when Albert Fish arrived at the station, he didn't deny having murdered Grace Budd, but told investigators that he had originally planned to kill her. Actually, to kill her brother Edward, not her, I should say. His trial was set to begin on March 11th, 1935.
Wasn't that her dad? Or was it her brother?
It says her brother, Edward.
Really?
Yeah.
So Grace was like 10. Well, Edward was young, wasn't he? Was it like 19? Something like that. He was a young guy.
Yeah, but
he was looking for work. What it was?
Yeah. No, he was saying that he had originally intended to kill the brother.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That makes sense.
His trial was set to begin on March 11th, 1935 in New York.
Yeah, Edward Budd was 18.
Yeah, young guy.
Yeah.
He first pled insanity, saying God had told him to kill these children. Of course, we've heard that one before.
Crazy ass people blaming God. God didn't tell you to do shit.
Yeah, it's always God or the devil or something.
Yeah, someone that, it's not my responsibility. I'm going to blame someone else.
Now, he was, during the time of his early incarceration, he was examined by several psychiatrists who testified that Fish had many sexual fetishes. They included sadism, exhibitionism, masochism, cunnilingus, analingus, flagellimentation.
Yeah, big words.
Flagellimentation.
Big
voyeurism, fellatio, cannibalism, pedophilia, pecoirism.
The fuck is that? Is that when you sleep with horses?
It just doesn't end here.
That's fucking
And then we
weird.
have the shit one, corporophilia.
Yeah, but...
Infabulation and urophilia.
Infibulation? The fuck?
Whatever that is, huh?
Yeah, big word that I'm not going to even try to go down.
It doesn't matter. I mean,
I'm afraid to bring that up on your internet. I don't want the FBI at your house.
When one of the psychiatrists was asked if Fish was insane and if he knew right from wrong, his response was that Fish was insane, and though he knew what he had done was wrong, his thoughts were overrun by his opinions of religion, sin, and atonement. Fish had claimed that by killing a child, he was atoning for his sins.
What did he... Well, I was going to say, what did he do wrong? But we already know what he did wrong. Why he's doing all these things to atone for his sins.
Yeah, this is how we ran his trial. This is like, I'm crazy, but this is why I was doing it. So basically, they said he was crazy, and this is his crazy reason why he did things, is how I take it.
That's some backwards fucking logic.
Yeah, so although the members of the jury believed Fish was insane, they felt he should be executed anyways. So they declared...
Yeah, absolutely. Look what he fucking did.
But so
that's not a safe person to have in society.
They declared him sane and guilty of murder. So he was therefore convicted, sentenced to death. Okay,
so they said he was insane. Then they said that he was sane.
Well, basically what I'm gathering from this is that they're saying, yeah, we know this guy's insane, but he's such a piece of shit that we'll just say he's sane so we can cook him.
Well, I think you should cook him anyway, regardless of whether he's sane or not.
They just don't do that.
Why?
They don't execute the mentally ill.
Why?
It's just something that doesn't happen.
Why?
Because they don't...
They're not any less of a danger.
Here's the thing. If they said this guy was mentally ill, then the argument is that he doesn't know right from wrong.
Okay, but
you can't kill a guy that doesn't know what he did wrong.
Okay, but yes, you can. Yeah, because he's still a danger to society.
He's a danger, but he's in a mental hospital or a prison.
Okay, but that
for
doesn't.
Life.
Okay, but
life.
That doesn't mean that he's not going to hurt someone in those facilities.
Right, but that's what happens with these people. I mean, so if you're found guilty, you can go kill fucking 20 people, and if you're found guilty and insane, they will not cook you. They will send you to a mental hospital or to a prison or some kind of a facility.
Like that.
For the rest of your life.
I don't like that at all.
And while you're there, you might get your hands on a few people and kill them, but that's just, I mean, unfortunately, that's how they do it.
And my fucking tax dollars pay for that.
Right.
That's ridiculous.
Well, that's what they said. They said, well, then you would agree with Albert Fish's jurors where, yeah, this guy, he's probably insane, but we'll just say he's sane so that he can just fucking be killed because we don't need him.
What's wrong with just being honest, saying the dude's clearly fucking crazy, can't keep his head on straight, killed a bunch of people, and had all these weird sexual fetish things that he fulfilled in these murders? Why can't we just say that he's insane and kill him Or execute it. Okay, when I say like that, it sounds really cruel. But like, why can't we just be honest?
Because the way the laws work in this country, as soon as you say this guy's insane, death penalty's taken off the plate.
I don't like that.
It's just how it works.
I know,
but and that's why.
I just don't agree with it.
But they didn't agree with it either, Jake, and that's why they said he was sane, and that's why he got the death penalty.
I know, but it's such a shitty way to go about it. Oh, let's just pretend that he's sane, and that way we can kill him. Yeah. How about we just all fucking admit and put it on paper that, you know what, we're gonna make an exception to the rule. This guy is crazy. He knows what he did. He's insane, and he knows it.
Yeah, it was a loophole. They just used a loophole. Well, and that wouldn't stand nowadays. But this was fucking almost 100 years ago. So
I guess, yeah.
I think back then things were a little bit different, where you could say something like that. Well, this guy's clearly insane, but we want to just say he's sane and cook him. And that's what they did. I
mean, I guess it just seems like a backwards way to do it. But that was 100 years ago, and it is what it is. It's not a big deal. We all know the dude was insane. He's got a list of 7 or 8 people that he killed. He's got 3 that we know he killed, and he's got 5 more that are suspected.
Yeah. So he was a busy guy. Now the outcome of all this was that on January 16th, 1936, Fish was strapped to an electric chair at Sing Sing prison. The execution began at 11:06 p.m.
What do you think his last song was before he died? Since he was at Sing Sing prison, do you think he was singing on the electric chair?
It wasn't fucking Paradise City.
No, because Paradise City wasn't around by then. Wasn't around then.
So anyway, at the execution began at 11:06 p.m. and he was declared dead just 3 minutes later.
Good.
Like many other execution prisoners, Fish was buried at the prison cemetery. Reportedly, Fish was assisted. Reportedly, Fish even assisted the executioner with putting the electrodes on his body.
Good.
Yeah.
His last words, very interesting. I don't even know why I'm here.
Yeah, pled guilt.
Just to show you how
insane the entire time.
Right. Just to show you how insane this person was.
Yeah. And now, immediately following his execution, his lawyer, James Dempsey, told the awaiting press that he had Fish's final statement, but he would never show it to anyone because it was one of the most filthiest string of obscenities he had ever read.
Jesus.
Yeah. Now, when they caught this guy, and I'd read this, I don't know if this is a rumor or not, but when they caught Albert Fish and they checked his house, of course, there was like body parts and stuff. He lived in an old farmhouse that he'd grown up in. They even said that there was like lampshades and curtains made out of human skin.
That's fucking weird.
Yeah.
That's fucking weird.
Pretty weird. So what do you think of this guy?
He's fucking weird.
As our very first serial killer, Bizarro.
He's weird, and I'm glad he's dead, and I just don't understand the laws having to do with how come we have to say this person's sane so we can put them on death row when they clearly deserve it.
That definitely wouldn't work today.
No, I would hope not, because we today understand when people are insane. That's it. That's there's no argument there. We're not going to say they're not for the sake of, well, I hope anyway.
That was crazy how quick the kill was, though. I mean, as far as like a death row, I mean, nowadays people are on death row for 25, 30 years.
Yeah, right.
This was the next year?
I think so. Something like that. Yeah. He arrived in prison in March of 35 and was executed in January of 36.
Yeah. NFA.
Yeah, and then you have people today that are on death row that are on there for 30 years.
Yeah, well, you have some people like the West Memphis 3. That guy was on death row for 18 years, and they said, he probably didn't do it, and they released him.
Yeah.
After he did that Alford plead, but...
I mean, I guess it gives people on death row a chance to kind of, if they are innocent, to get out of it.
Yeah. I mean, this is, like I said, like we said, this is, we're going to do a few serial killers this year.
Yeah, more than a few.
I found this guy to be pretty interesting.
Yeah, he was interesting in just how crazy he was. Reading his story, it never ended. Just like when you thought you read the most messed up thing out there about him, there's something else.
And it's crazy that they keep rehashing this guy, making him relevant, rather. Relative, yeah. Relative and relevant.
He's not my relative.
In, media today and in recent times, I mean, his crimes were so prolific that they keep reusing them, and coming up with characters for movies that are very similar.
Yeah, and people are still writing books about him, or still, talking about him to some extent.
Podcasting about him.
Yeah, right. Point the finger at us.
Yeah. Well, just kind of an interesting dude.
Yeah. Well, when you say interesting, it implies a positive connotation. He's interesting in the sense that like I would hope to never be like him.
Yeah. Right.
That's fucked up.
Well, Jake, whereabouts are we with this?
We are 42 minutes in, something like that, 40-ish minutes. I think we can cut this one a little bit short. It's going to be a quick and easy one.
Yeah, quick and easy. We just figured
serial killer ones may not end up being crazy long because it doesn't leave a lot of room for speculation.
Well,
like these missing people cases that we do, like Ayla Reynolds and Kim Moreau.
Yeah, and I think the thing with like Albert Fish is that everything was so, cut and dry.
Right.
From what we read there.
Right.
I guess that's what you're saying is that there's a very little room for speculation. We're probably going to find some of these that are just really crazy people,
Probably.
And I hope some of them that we find have got some really cool trial notes and stuff like that.
Yeah. This guy's got a hook for a nose. Albert Fish. And he's wearing this weird top hat.
Albert Fish hook
Dude,
nose.
he looks like someone straight out of like an early 1900s Broadway something.
I guess
he's kind of weird looking.
But he don't look like he looks like a standard old guy, guy from back in those days.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. He kind of looks like my aunt's brother.
Shit.
With just like a skinnier face.
Would your aunt's brother be your uncle?
No, it's
on the other side.
Yeah, it's on the other side of the family. I'm not blood related to her.
Yeah, this guy's kind of a weird dude. An odd duck.
Yeah, just a little bit.
But yeah,
he was 65 when he died.
Yeah,
I feel like that's a pretty long life for someone in the early 1900s.
Well, you know what? Now you bring up a good point though, because maybe that's what made him kind of, I don't want to say appealing, but easier for parents and others to trust him. Oh, this little old frail friendly guy, Yeah, take my daughter. Sure, what the fuck's this guy gonna do?
Yeah,
take her, have her fun, take her some ice cream, take her home.
Yeah, maybe. Now in 2018, if someone looked like him and was like, let me take your daughter to a birthday party, they'd be like, how about I do that?
How about you get the fuck out of here?
Yeah, you can go right the fuck back home.
Yeah, no.
Yep, agreed.
So, but I guess that's it for Albert Fish, guys. I mean, let us know what you think. Jake, you want to give us a
what?
Little social media plug?
I can. Give me 30 seconds.
Get that window.
You want to address our audience for 30 seconds?
Sure. Watch me juggle.
Yeah, watch me juggle. Let me get it on that camera shit.
Watch me juggle through your ears.
Watch me whip. Hold on. I got to find it. I'm sorry. I need to do better at organizing this shit.
No, that's cool. Actually, I'm going to be a little update for the podcast. We're going to be getting really a second computer for this. So.
This is going to be so great. I can't wait to order that in a few days. This computer is just awful.
Be making things a little bit easier on us.
Yeah, and what I should do too is when I make the accounts, I should keep the social media like on a sticky note in the corner or something, or just keep it local right on the desktop so we don't have to search for it like I'm doing now.
Blah blah right there.
Yeah, exactly. We're working on getting a consistent song. Hopefully we'll have it set up in this one, but we're gonna have a consistent song so it's not so confusing to you guys as far as what the hell are they doing today, or why do they listen to this garbage? We don't actually listen to that. That's just me going online looking for royalty free music, being like, I hope I can put this in and not get sued,
or something relevant to the case, like
yeah, right.
Kimberly Morrow's father's song, or that song about Ayla Reynolds.
Yeah, right. See, that's different. If it goes with the case, then I would like to play it.
Yeah.
But there are definitely some songs that we've used in our episodes where they're like, where is it? What?
Yeah.
All right. Social media. Hey, guess what, guys? I have good news for you. We should have done this way before when we first started, but we're on YouTube now.
Hey, wasn't that one of the podcasts, the New Year's resolutions?
To get on YouTube? Was it YouTube? I think it was.
I think it was.
Yeah, I think you're right. All right. Social media, all of it. Literally all of it. Facebook, Stories from the Shed. Instagram, Stories from the Shed Podcast. YouTube, Stories from the Shed Podcast. Twitter, Stories from Shed. iMessage, sftspodcast@gmail.com, and that is also our email. Email us podcast ideas for you guys want to hear.
Yeah, please do that, because you know what? we've got listeners in different states and such, and maybe this stuff,
dude, we get listeners in different countries,
and maybe there's little known stories that we don't know about.
Right.
That, maybe you guys could say, hey, you know what? In my hometown, this shit happened in 1984, and send us a little information. And if we can find, an hour, 45 minutes, an hour's worth of information at least on it, we'll probably do it, because it's just kind of fun to dig into stuff and kind of, continue to grow and be interactive with our fan base. So.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah. Thank you guys for listening. And
have a good rest of your week, guys.
Yeah, and tell some friends.
Yep. Bye.